My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava.
What's your other last name?
Ava.
Eva Baroni Combs?
Are you surprised by the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witness violence.
Breaking news has erupted across every corner of the internet, leaving the world in collective shock and disbelief. Ava Baron Combs, the enigmatic young protege once brought into the limelight by Sean Diddy Combs, BS, has reportedly vanished without a trace. Yes, you heard that right, TV girl who just a few years ago was introduced to the world as Diddy's adopted daughter in a bizarre live-streamed moment has become the center of a chilling mystery that has everyone asking what really happened to Ava. More disturbingly, what secrets could this disappearance unveil about Diddy's dark and controversial world?
So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
The story of Ava's disappearance broke in the early hours of this morning, with reports surfacing from multiple insider sources close to law enforcement. According to an anonymous official within the investigation, Ava was last seen nearly 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles, an area notorious for its intersections of power, wealth, and, as we've come to learn, Initial reports suggest that Ava had been staying at one of Diddy's properties, a Beverly Hills mansion that was once the site of his infamous gatherings. However, what started as a routine check-in by her family abruptly turned into panic when all efforts failed. Failed the phone calls went unanswered, her SOC accounts were account inactive. By the time the authority contacted, untacted key surveillance footage from the property had reportedly missing, coincidence or something far sinister. Nister.
There's a short life.
Why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to going through so much to try and deal with life.
We need to talk about Ava. Ava, a teenager at time entered Diddy's orbit in the first place. Rewind to 2020, a year that, unbeknownst to us, set the stage for one of the industry's most unsettling narratives. Diddy, in a widely shared yet deeply unsettling Instagram live video, introduced Ava to the world as his adopted daughter. The video raised eyebrows even then. Diddy claimed he had permission from Ava's mother to take her under his wing, stating, "I adopted you because I felt you could enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out." On the surface it seemed benign, even charitable, but the undertones were hard to ignore. His words felt rehearsed, the interaction oddly performative, and when Ava, visibly shy and hesitant, referred to him as Papa Calm, the internet collectively cringed. Now, in light of recent events, that once dismissed moment feels far more chilling. Here's where things take an even darker turn. While Diddy's adoption of Ava was later dismissed as a skit, a supposed joke gone too far, insiders are now coming forward with claims that Ava's connection to Diddy was far more deliberate and calculated. According to a source within his inner circle, Ava's mother, who allegedly had ties to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-partner, was convinced by him to allow Ava frequent access to his circle. Why? That's the question investigators are reportedly asking themselves as they dig deeper into this case. Was Ava merely a prop in Diddy's endless pursuit of attention and influence, or was there something far more nefarious lurking beneath the surface?
You are literally, it's an unhealthy space, and so eventually you're going to go too far. Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at. There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it, and they got to keep getting high, holding out of their head. But when you lose your man card.
And then there's the matter of Ava's adoption or lack thereof. Despite the public spectacle, no legal documents were ever filed. TMZ confirmed as much shortly after the video went viral. However, the lack of legal recognition didn't stop Diddy from parading Ava around as part of his family. She was often seen alongside his twin daughters Jessie and Delilah in social media posts and at public appearances to the outside world. Ava appeared to be just another extension of Diddy's ever-growing empire, but behind the glossy photos and staged videos lies a far murkier reality, one that's beginning to unravel in the most dramatic fashion. Adding fuel to the fire are the new developments surrounding Diddy's ongoing federal trial. Yes, the same trial where he faces multiple charges including trafficking, racketeering and misconduct allegations that span decades. Prosecutors have already painted a grim picture of the mogul's alleged enterprise with claims of orchestrated freak-offs, coercion and abuse. But now, Ava's disappearance is raising an even more alarming question. Was she part of this world? Could her so-called adoption have been a calculated move to shield her from scrutiny, or worse, to pull her into a far darker network of exploitation?
Brother. You give up your ability, your right to be a man. Man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I'm saying what I'm saying.
Anonymous sources connected to the investigation have leaked harrowing details about Ava's potential involvement. One e-source who claims to have worked security at Diddy's Beverly Hills property alleges that Ava was frequently present during gatherings that were off limits to most. TV's events, described as exclusive but secretive, were reportedly marked by strict rules and non-disclosure agreements, with attendees ranging from Hollywood elites to rising stars desperate for Diddy's approval. While there's no concrete evidence linking Ava to any wrongdoing, the mere suggestion of her proximity to these events is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. And if that's not enough to stir your suspicion, let's talk about the leaked documents that have reportedly surfaced in connection with Ava's disappearance. Insiders within law enforcement are whispering about a paper trail that suggests Ava's adoption wasn't just a personal endeavor, or it was part of a larger scheme. These documents allegedly tie Ava's mother to financial transactions linked to Diddy's business ventures, raising questions about whether her involvement was coerced. Did he see an opportunity to exploit a vulnerable family situation, or was Ava's introduction into his world part of a more calculated, sinister operation? But wait, there's more. A shocking twist in this unfolding saga comes from an unlikely source, actor Terrence Howard. Yes, the same Terrence Howard who recently made headlines for his bombshell allegations about Diddy's conduct in Hollywood in court testimony that's now gone viral. Howard claimed to have witnessed disturbing behavior from Diddy during gatherings. While Howard's allegations largely focused on his own unsettling encounters, he dropped a chilling hint that the young impressionable individuals present at these could he have been referring Ava? Oh, Ava, and so why hasn't he come forward with more details? As the search for Ava intensifies, conspiracy theories are running rampant. The most shocking of these is that Ava's disappearance could be linked to a larger trafficking operation orchestrated within Diddy's empire. While law enforcement has yet to confirm any such theories, the parallels are hard to ignore. Ava's sudden vanishing, combined with the timing of Diddy's trial and the damning allegations against him, has left the public reeling with questions. Could this be the smoking gun that finally brings the truth about Diddy's shadowy empire to light?
That was all the people that went to the fucking thing. It was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they did. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. They shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. Next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone.
And then there's the most unsettling rumor of all, the possible involvement of Diddy's own sons, Justin and Christian Combs, in Ava's disappearance. Anonymous sources claim that the duo has been unusually quiet since the news broke, with some alleging that they've distanced themselves from their father in recent months. What do they know? And could their silence be a sign of guilt or fear? The disappearance of Ava Baron Combs is more than just a mystery. It's a bombshell revelation that could completely dismantle the already crumbling facade of Sean Diddy Combs' once glorious empire. As new details emerge, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. What secrets are still buried, and how far will those involved go to keep the truth hidden? Sorry, no, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that, you see Bieber struggling with that, you see some of these guys struggling with that. They can't get it out of their head. The story of Sean Diddy Combs has always been one of wealth and influence, but as the layers peel back, revealing a disturbing web of allegations, manipulation and secrecy, we are left asking, how deep does this go? What started with Ava Baron Combs' shocking disappearance has now spiraled into a broader expose of Diddy's alleged misdeeds spanning decades and pulling in some of the entertainment industry's biggest names. The deeper we dig, the darker the picture becomes, and Ava's case may just be the key to unraveling it all. To understand the magnitude of what we're dealing with, we need to take a step back and examine the patterns. Diddy has faced accusations for years, but Ava's disappearance has reignited interest in his past, a past riddled with lawsuits, allegations, and whispers of exploitation. Take, for instance, his infamous freak-offs as prosecutors have these gatherings described as highly unsettling, paint a picture of a man who wielded his power to create an environment we exist. These didn't exist these even parties, and just parties they were carefully curated performances complete atmospheres, led atma compliance, chillingly a system design trace. El could no trace could Ava have been X-World? Tiwashi's world was her presence at his home more coincidence? Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and he it? ID hell yeah. What was the consequences when you puppy no puppy invite for weeks asking me to come and teach him to wanted me to be his acting coach for a while there, here and he's sitting around juluking. I me like, cool okay, why what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Even more unsettling are the allegations that these gatherings were meticulously planned down to the smallest detail. Prosecutors have described how entire teams were allegedly employed to prepare for these events, ensuring that anything incriminating was erased. Hotel rooms were prepped with specialized lighting, additional linens, and even substances intended to relax attendees, and the aftermath staff was reportedly tasked with cleanup operations so thorough that no trace of the events would remain. One insider chillingly referred to it as a production, not a party. Could this level of planning mean Ava's connection to these events was more than coincidental, and if so, is there evidence out there that someone hasn't yet managed to destroy? What's even more shocking is how these alleged activities were enabled by a network of enablers and insiders who seemingly turned a blind eye. For years Diddy's name was synonymous with success and excess, and his inner circle benefited from his power. But as the allegations stack up, some of those closest to him are beginning to speak out. Anonymous sources including former employees have described a culture of fear within Diddy's empire. One insider revealed, nobody questioned him, nobody dared to. If you did, you were out, and trust me, you didn't want to be out. Could this culture of silence have contributed to Ava's disappearance, and if so, who is still protecting him even now? Hey will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me like waiting. Okay, so then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week, and I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. So now no more communication. The culture of silence surrounding Diddy's empire wasn't just confined to his inner circle, it extended to the industry at large. Hollywood, with its bright lights and glamorous veneer, has long had a reputation for turning a blind eye to the misdeeds of its most powerful figures. Insiders describe an unspoken code of loyalty where speaking out against someone like Diddy meant career destruction. One former music executive who requested anonymity revealed that Diddy's influence was so expansive that even legal threats were often neutralized quietly. He didn't just have money, he had connections everywhere, from top-tier lawyers to media outlets. He could control the narrative. Could this unchecked power have allowed AA's case to slip through the cracks unnoticed? And more chillingly, how many others have been silenced before her? The federal investigation into Diddy has only added fuel to the fire, with charges that include trafficking and racketeering. Prosecutors are painting a picture of a man who operated above the law for decades, but it's the personal testimonies that are truly chilling. Kathy Ventura, Diddy's former partner, has become one of the most high-profile voices in this case. Her lawsuit, which was settled within hours, was a bombshell that opened the floodgates for others to come forward. Cassie described years of coercion and abuse, detailing how Diddy used his influence to control every aspect of her life. One of the more harrowing allegations involved her being forced to participate in his infamous gatherings, which she described as performances designed to feed his ego and maintain his dominance. If these allegations are true, how many others were caught in this web, and could Ava have been one of them? Now to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. And then there's the trail of lawsuits that stretches back decades, from accusations of physical altercations to allegations of intimidation and coercion. Diddy's legal troubles have painted a consistent pattern of behavior. One particularly disturbing case involved a video from 2016 that showed Diddy chasing and dragging Cassie down a hotel hallway. While this was initially dismissed as a private matter, it has now resurfaced as part of the broader investigation. Could this pattern of aggression and control have extended to Ava? The timing of her disappearance, so close to the height of Diddy's legal troubles, raises questions that are impossible to ignore, but perhaps the most explosive revelations have come from Terrence Howard, whose recent testimony has sent shock waves through Hollywood. Howard, known for his outspoken nature, has accused Diddy of bizarre and unsettling behavior, including an incident in which Diddy allegedly invited him under false pretenses only to make him deeply uncomfortable with his actions. Howard's testimony didn't stop there. He hinted at a broader culture within Diddy's circle, one that involved young impressionable individuals being drawn into his orbit. While Howard didn't name names, his words have left many wondering, was Ava one of these individuals, and if so, why hasn't more been done to protect her? I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way, I don't compromise, I don't play gay roles, I don't kiss a man, I don't do that because the man card means everything. Even Diddy's family isn't immune from scrutiny. Justin and Christian Combs, his sons, have remained conspicuously silent as the allegations against their father mount. Once regular fixtures on social media, IATH brothers have retreated from the spotlight, fueling speculation about their involvement or, at the very least, their knowledge of what's been happening behind closed doors. Insiders claim that the brothers have distanced themselves from their father, with one source stating they know more than they're letting on. Could they hold the key to understanding what happened to Avia? And if they do, why haven't they come forward? The conspiracy theories surrounding Ava's disappearance continue to spiral, with some suggesting that her case is part of a larger pattern of exploitation within the entertainment industry. It's no secret that Hollywood has a dark side, and Diddy's alleged activities are just the tip of the iceberg. Experts have pointed to similar cases in the past where powerful individuals used their influence to exploit those around them. Ava's disappearance has reignited conversations about accountability and the systems that allow T flourish. Could flourish? Could this case finally be the change? YST for CIT, NGE, or will others, so many others, be swirg? RTH, are you done with Hollywoodthis? Kai mean I'm working, still, king, you know I haven't made the money necessary to do all of their stuff, so I still have to go and do th circuit, I still have to do the job fatto, need to, but I've done what I said to do, which was to redefine universe, for I've proven we set out do, and that's why I have alt patents, and whether they evaluate it or not, that's up tot hem, and let's not forget the upcoming documentary by 50 Cent, which promises to shine a light on Diddy's alleged misdeeds. Insiders claim the documentary will include exclusive interviews, previously unseen footage, and damning evidence that could shift public perception even further. Could this project provide the answers we're all searching for, or will it simply add another layer of intrigue to an already complex case? As we piece together the fragments of the story, one thing becomes clear: the disappearance of Ava Baron Holmes is not an isolated incident, it's part of a much larger narrative, one that spans decades and implicates some of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. The questions we're left with are haunting. Where is Ava? What really happened to her? And most disturbingly, how many others have been affected by this dark and twisted web of power and control?
Are you done with Hollywood? Because
No,
this
I mean, I'm
reason?
still working. I still, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine meaning. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them.
As the search for Ava continues and the investigation into Diddy's empire deepens, we must ask ourselves, how far are we willing to go to demand justice? Will we hold those in power accountable, or will this case become yet another cautionary tale of what happens when wealth and influence go unchecked? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from